A mug of coffee, gone cold. You slide it into a little box, press one button, and step back. No flame, no glowing red coil, no hot plate underneath. Nothing in there even looks like it's doing anything. 30 seconds. And then steam. The coffee is hot again, almost too hot to hold. But here is the strange part. Reach in and touch the wall of the box. It's cool. Touch the glass plate the mug was sitting on. Cool. The air inside? Cool. Everything in that box is still cold, except the one thing you actually wanted, hot. So how does a machine reach inside your coffee and warm it without getting warm itself? Hi, I'm Mr. Y, and that little box on your kitchen counter is one of the cleverest, strangest machines in your whole house, hiding in plain sight. We use it every single day and almost never ask what it's really doing. So, let me actually show you what just happened to your coffee. Here's the first thing to know, and it's the whole secret. Water is special. A drop of water isn't just a blob, it's made of tiny pieces called molecules, and each water molecule has a slightly positive end and a slightly negative end. So, picture this. Every water molecule is a tiny compass needle. One end wants to point one way, the other end wants to point the other way. Hold that picture, because it's the key to everything. Now, what does the microwave actually do? It doesn't blow hot air. It doesn't shoot fire. It fills the box with an invisible wave, and that wave is really an electric pull that flips its direction back and forth, incredibly fast. Not 100 times a second, not 1,000,000, about 2.5 billion times every single second. So think about our little compass needles. The wave pulls them one way, they flip to follow. Then the wave flips, and they flip again. Back and forth and back and forth, billions of times a second. Every water molecule in your coffee is now wobbling like crazy, all at once. And here's where the heat comes from. Rub your hands together right now, go on. They get warm, right? That warmth is friction, things rubbing against each other. That is exactly what's happening inside your mug. All those frantic flipping water molecules are jostling and rubbing against their neighbors, billions of times a second, and all that rubbing makes heat. So look at what that really means. The heat is not coming from the box. The box never gets hot. The heat is being made by the water inside your coffee, flipping itself warm. The microwave doesn't cook your food. It convinces your food to cook itself. And now the mystery of the cool box solves itself. The wave only grabs hold of things full of water. Your coffee is almost all water, so it heats fast. But the glass plate, barely any water. The air, barely any water. The walls of the box, no water at all. The wave has nothing to grab in them, so it slides right past and leaves them cold. That's the trick. A microwave only heats what's wet. It's why the plate comes out cool, but the food on it is steaming. The plate only got warm by touching the hot food, not from the wave itself. But if you've ever used a microwave, you know it isn't perfect. You heat up last night's dinner, take a bite scalding, take another bite, and the middle is still ice cold. One meal, hot and cold at the same time. Why? Because of how the waves move. They don't just sit there. They bounce off the metal walls of the box, over and over, crisscrossing through your food. And when waves bounce around and overlap, something neat happens. In some spots, two waves stack up and get extra strong, and in other spots they cancel each other out and go almost quiet. Strong spots get hot. Quiet spots stay cold. So your dinner has hot patches and cold patches baked right in, and those spots don't move. They're stuck in the same places in the box. So how do you fix it? You don't move the spots. You move the food through them. That slowly spinning glass plate, the turntable, that's its entire job. It carries every part of your meal through the strong spots in turn, so it all gets a fair share of the heat. That humble little turntable is solving a real physics problem every time it spins. Now, one rule you've definitely heard, never put metal in the microwave, and now you can understand why. Remember, the waves bounce off metal. When that wave hits a fork, it shoves the metal's own electricity around, and it all crowds toward the sharp points, the tips of the tines, the torn edge of a piece of foil. Charge piles up at those sharp points until it can't hold anymore, and it leaps through the air as a spark. It's a tiny bolt of lightning made in your kitchen. Thin metal with sharp edges is the worst for this. So the fork sparks, but the smooth, thick metal walls of the box just calmly bounce the waves back in, exactly as they're meant to. Which brings us to my favorite part, the door. Look closely at the window next time. It's not clear glass. There's a thin metal screen in there, full of tiny holes, and that should bother you. If metal bounces microwaves back, how can you see through it? And if there are holes in it, why don't the waves just leak out and cook your face while you watch? Here's the beautiful answer. It's all about size. A single microwave is big about as wide as your hand, roughly 12 centimeters across. The holes in that screen are about a millimeter wide. To a wave that big, a screen full of tiny holes doesn't look like holes at all. It looks like one solid metal wall, and it bounces right back inside. But ordinary light, the light that lets you see, that wave is thousands of times smaller. To light, those holes are wide open doorways. So the same screen blocks the giant microwaves and waves the tiny light straight through. You get to stand there and watch, perfectly safe, while the waves stay trapped feeding your coffee. So what is a microwave, really? It's not a tiny oven. It doesn't warm your food from the outside the way a stove does. It reaches in and spins the water already inside your food billions of times a second until that water heats itself, while the box, the plate, and the air stay cool to the touch. And that's why everything you found strange at the start makes sense now. The cool walls, the spinning plate, the no-metal rule, the see-through door that somehow holds the waves in. So here's what I want you to notice. The next time you pull a mug out and the coffee's hot but the box is cold, you won't just see a kitchen gadget anymore. You'll know you're holding billions of water molecules that were, a second ago, dancing far too fast to stay cold. And now I'm curious about your kitchen. Tell me down in the comments, which food does your microwave always leave with one stubborn cold spot right in the middle, even with the turntable spinning? I really want to know which food fights the hardest. If you like having the everyday stuff explained simply, I'm Mr. Y. Subscribe, and next time I'll show you how your Wi-Fi carries the whole internet through nothing but empty air.